I think what we saw here is that Donald Trump is attempting to pivot somewhat to the political center. He sees that currently he faces a weak opponent in the general election. He's currently doing really well in the polls. And he's trying to grow his coalition beyond those base voters who will reliably vote for him and try to convince America that this is a new, more moderate, more electable Donald Trump. And I think that's what we heard a lot of during this speech today.
You know, momentum is firmly with the GOP and Trump, but you wrote just recently that Trump's pick of JD Vance reveals a destructive political instinct that could still end up costing him the election. Can you unpack that for me? What exactly did you mean by that?
Sure. So I think that although this speech, as I said, shows that Donald Trump and his strategists realize that they need to make this pivot to the center, Donald Trump is a certain type of political animal. He's a politician with certain instincts, and those instincts are usually to really pump up his base, to really lean into grievance, lean into this story that America is in decline and only he can save it. And by picking JD Vance as his running mate, he picks someone who is firmly wedded to this narrative, someone who also comes from quite an extreme corner of the Republican Party, a corner that talks a lot about cultural decline, that talks a lot about how immigrants are trying to destroy America, that talks a lot about the need for this existential struggle with China. And this message has not necessarily served Trump that well over the course of his political career. And I think that if Trump was going to make this a plausible pivot to the center, to reinvent himself, then he might have picked a different running mate. He might have picked someone like Nikki Haley, who represented many of those Republican voters and those moderate swing voters that still have reservations about Donald Trump and in November might think twice about ticking his name on the ballot box. So I think picking Vance was a sign that maybe this idea that Trump is a changed man is not going to last until November.
And Andrew, as we see Trump accepting the GOP nomination here, President Joe Biden's advisors are basically seeing the writing on the wall regarding his campaign, according to some explosive new NBC News reporting. One source telling NBC, quote, "We are close to the end." Could Biden drop out as soon as this weekend?
I think that, yes, Biden will drop out. I've gone backwards and forwards on this issue since that debate performance. It took leaders of the Democratic Party some time to really get firmly behind a push to get him out of the race. But it seems to me clear now that, big leaders in the party, like former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, like Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, have decided that the damage that Biden is doing, not just to his own candidacy and their chance of winning the presidency, but also to Democratic House and Senate candidates down ballot, now means that they've reached a real crisis point, and I think that they will push him out. The question then becomes, who will replace him? So it looks likely, I think, that it will be Kamala Harris. Many Democrats have had reservations about her electability in the past, but she now runs way ahead of Biden in head-to-head polling with Trump. And they see this opportunity to reboot their campaign, really kind of take the media momentum away from Trump coming out of this convention and get back in the saddle with a young, vigorous candidate who'll be able to really take their message to Trump up and down the country.